Hey guys, so this video is, I wouldn't call it a mini tea, but I also wouldn't call it a one story video. So I don't really know what to call it, but my social media will be in description along with my movie commentary channel. Movie commentary channel. Why did that take me a while to spit out? Subscribe with that bell, like, comment for engagement because it helps. A lot of you guys are subscribed, but some of you guys are not subscribed. So scroll down, subscribe, hit that bell. I see all the statistics and analytics, so don't even lie to me, okay? I'm giving you a minute to catch up. So, Ace family, quick summary. They're being sued by LiveX Live because of the fight for 100 million. They're being sued by Nate Wyatt and Taylor Holder for not being paid for the fight. I'm not sure what Bryce Hall is doing. There is another company that helped them with engagement on the internet, basically fake engagement, that is also planning on suing them allegedly, or is basically like pissed off because they're not being paid for the services that they were offering. Then there's that exotic cars company that also was not being paid by the Ace family, who are not suing, but they were threatened by Ace family. They took down their Instagram. It was like a whole thing. Then we found some documents about the fact that their house is going under foreclosure and it was recently put on auction, so they're actually just being kicked out. But they're still claiming that they're not being kicked out, even though they quite literally are being kicked out because they've had an auction now. The house didn't sell, which means now the house is going back to the loan lenders, if that makes sense. Like whoever company loaned them the money for the mortgage is now taking the house and they're going to be evicted. So I don't know how they're going to hide this, because both Austin and Catherine have gone on the internet and basically been like, I don't know why everyone's saying we're being evicted. We're not being evicted. We're paying all of our stuffs. Okay, so why is your house on auction? Why is your house under foreclosure, and why are you now being evicted? Like, I just want to know. I just want to know how they're going to hide this, because there's no way to hide this. And if you thought that wasn't enough, Ace family is also being sued by Beverly Hills. Just Beverly Hills. You know when you thought, TikTokers and LiveX Live, no, just the whole Beverly Hills. They were just like, you know what? Throw everyone in there. Basically what happened was, right before the fight, when they were doing promo for the fight, Austin did like a impromptu, unorganized, very not health and safety meetup in Beverly Hills, where just like a bunch of fans came. They had like one security guard. It got very crazy. Catherine was being like dragged around by people, you know, people were touching her. They had to run into like a nail shop. Then people started running into the nail shop. It was a tragedy, actually. The thing is, when you know you have like 20 million subscribers, however many subscribers they have, I haven't checked in a long time. Why would you do an impromptu meetup on the street? Like, just tell everyone to come there and expect it to not get crazy and to not get out of hand and to not get dangerous. And like, it's just not safe to do that. Like, realistically, why would you put your wife in danger like that for some kind of a promotion for your fight that flopped anyway? So all of this for nothing. And Beverly Hills basically said that because it caused chaos on the streets and people could have been endangered and it's reckless, they're now being sued for $600K. At this point, I feel like the $600K is kind of irrelevant. Like, they're already being sued for 100 million plus. Throw $600K into their little mix of lawsuits, and like, it doesn't really make much of a difference, but like at this point it's just like stacking up. But also, forgot Catherine, I didn't forget about you, babe. She's being sued by people that helped create her skincare brand for basically not paying them and like stealing ideas from them and then not like paying them for the ideas. So everyone's being sued at this point. Will an extra lawsuit add anything to the conversation? No, but like, it just proves a point that they can't seem to get their finances straight despite being multimillionaires. Like, it's a little bit embarrassing. It's just getting a little bit embarrassing. Let's just move on to a story that links, but it's also a separate story, which is why I said this isn't a mini tea, but this is also a one story video. The Landon and Shyla story. So if you guys don't know, Landon is actually Austin's brother, but also has a family channel, had a family channel with his girlfriend Shyla, and they had a child called Soline. They recently split up and they've been going back and forth in videos and court cases. So I'm going to give a tiny summary, but I've posted videos on this, so you can just go through my channel and find full-on summaries of the videos. But essentially what happened was, Shyla said that she was going to be in videos less, and people were like, oh, this is weird, like, why is she not going to be in videos? They then split up. Shyla takes over the main channel, he creates his own channel, and they're going back and forth filming videos. So Shyla posts like a 4-minute quick update, says she can't really say too much, but is, you know, like, we split up, you know, I'm gonna be taking over the channel now. He starts posting really weird clickbaity stuff, and he keeps on shading her, you know, like throwing little like bits into the conversation, keeps on like posting stuff on Instagram, making her look like the bad guy. She then posts a whole video exposing him for being abusive, verbally, physically, etc., for not having visitation rights, or well, having some visitation but not being allowed to like take the daughter whenever or take her into the Ace family home. So clearly he's under a lot more scrutiny by law than her, which people thought that was kind of like an indication of who was right in the situation, but not always, you know, we have to give him some benefit of the doubt. He then posts a video where he heavily manipulates the story, tries to make it look aggressive, but also like it didn't make it look aggressive at all. There's clearly a lot of like set up videos that he films where he's like, oh, I was so lucky that the camera was rolling while she was being aggressive with me, but you can clearly tell he's mic'd up because like the blanket that he's wearing is rubbing on the mic, so you can tell he did this on purpose, and he was like pushing and gaslighting her for her to get aggressive, for him to go on YouTube and be like, look, she's aggressive. So there's a lot of that going on. And obviously their fans are very young. They're going back and forth, you know, sending hate to the other person. And it's just, it got very toxic for a split second. Other than that, Shyla also said that she will not be posting any pictures with Solene from now on, which is their kid. The kid was a big part of the videos, but she says that she doesn't feel comfortable doing it anymore because Solene didn't respond on camera well, if that makes sense. Like whenever they put the camera on her, she wasn't like very happy. Like there's some kids that love being on camera, and I still feel a little bit icky about it, but if like the kid's really into it, sure. But they said that their kid just was not into it, and they just felt really exploitative doing that. So she said she doesn't want Solene on camera anymore, which Landon had kept on putting her on camera after she said that, whether that's pictures, vlogs, etc., Instagram stories. We then have this random Instagram account pop up, which looks like it's made for Solene, which is the kid. And in the bio it says ran by my dad, and it at Landon, and then in the bio it also has a link to his video exposing Shyla, which people thought was super shady to have like your kid's bio have a link to a video where you're dragging the mum through mud. It was, you know, wild. So people were just like really weirded out because Shyla obviously said like, I don't want my kids on the internet, and then he creates this like account for Solene, and it's very shady. Now, he did post a video called I'm Sorry, just a quick update on the whole situation, where he says that he legally doesn't know if he can say Shyla's name, because a lot of people are saying that in his videos he refers to her as Solene's mum or the kid's mum. People thought it was really shady, like why are you not saying your ex-girlfriend's name? He's saying he didn't do this for shady purposes, he just did this because he wasn't sure if he was allowed to say her name or if he was gonna like get sued for it. He says that they were a real couple, that they were actually in love, like this wasn't all like fake and this isn't like for drama, that they were actually a real couple that broke up and things just got very messy, which to me sounded a little bit shady to the Ace family, because everyone assumes that the Ace family are not a real couple. They're not like an actual family, they're a family for business, and then they just go their separate ways to do their thing. And actually, to add to the Ace family drama, I thought to slip it in here. Recently there was a podcast episode with a Instagram model girl on there who basically said that Austin had slid into her DMs and that Jason Derulo also slid into her DMs, who recently split up with his partner.
I looked, because we work together, right, real closely. I looked through all her DMs.
Yeah.
I looked through
Are they wild?
Bro, she has gotten DM'd by everyone you could think of, and she doesn't even open
athletes
it.
And
everyone you could think of.
A lot of blue checks.
Tons, all blue checks. And she does, like, literally I'm looking and they're not even open. They're not even open. Yeah, it's tough.
yeah, that's not good for me.
No, it's
But
tough.
a lot of
That's
them,
really hurting.
a lot of them unsend because they get embarrassed.
Yeah, there's
Yes,
actually.
yes,
Yeah, yo, can we
yes.
just expose them?
I
Yes.
can't.
Can you expose like at least a
I've
couple?
had some like
who's
big.
a big
Austin
competitor?
McBroom. Austin
But
McBroom.
I thought that guy had a family and a married man.
So did I, dude. So did I. Yeah.
Also, Jason Derulo.
Yes.
But the Ace family stuff, yeah, so Austin is just, it's like at this point the allegations of him sliding into people's DMs and cheating on Catherine are, there's a lot of them, but like let's just throw another one into the mix just in case we were like doubtful that this is actually going on. Like, are they a real couple? Does Catherine know? Does Catherine accept it because of the money, or are they just not a real couple? Or do they have an open relationship? Or are they just not a real couple and they just pretend to be a family for the money and the views? And then they just go their separate ways. He then addresses the Solene Instagram account and basically says that he didn't create it, it's fake, and that anyone who believes it is basically dumb. He was like, why would I do it? After Shyla said that, you know, she doesn't want Solene on the internet, why would I create a whole Instagram account for her? But then he also does say that he will not stop posting Solene on the internet, and that neither will his family, because his mum posts all of the other grandkids, so why would she not post Solene just because Shyla said no, or because they're famous? Like, he basically said, we have the right to post her. It's not for money, it's just because she's a part of our life and we're allowed to post her. And he says that it also just doesn't make sense because he hadn't been making money on his YouTube channel until now. So if you guys don't know, when you start your YouTube channel, you have to have 4,000 hours of watch time before you can apply for monetization, and 1,000 subscribers, but obviously he got that very quickly before you can apply. And then once you apply, it can take a few weeks to get your monetization. So it does make sense that he hadn't been making money for the last few weeks because it takes a while. But he's gonna be making money now. So like him saying, oh, like I can post my kid because like I wasn't even making money. Yeah, but you will be making money, you know? But anyway, he's saying he's allowed to post her because she's his daughter, and he's allowed to post her just like any parent is allowed to post their kid on the internet. But he says that the Instagram account is fake and that he wouldn't do that. Questions why Shyla doesn't want to post Celine. He says, you know, they've been posting her for so long that it just doesn't make sense, and it just feels like yet another like way of manipulating him in the situation, and not something that she's actually concerned about, because she never really called it exploitation before. So now she's like backpedaling. He's basically just like questioning why she would change her mind now. He also wants the harassment and hate for Shyla to stop, mainly for Soline's sake. He's like, I can't imagine how it would feel for Soline to grow up and then read all of that about her mom and like see all of this go down and be so messy. So he's just saying like, in all my videos I said to not send hate to Shyla, but people still did it. And when you make videos calling your ex-girlfriend aggressive and like showing her in a really bad light, and you have a really young audience, there's really like, what did you expect kind of a thing. But you know, he's allowed to put his side of the story out there. So like, I'm not saying he's not allowed to, but it was kind of expected that this would happen. It's the internet. People get hate. It just happens. So to be like, oh, like, I wish it would stop. It's not going to stop. Hate on the internet just continues to be hate on the internet. It's a never ending thing. Okay. But he basically just wants the harassment to stop for Soline's sake, and that everything he's doing right now is for Soline. He just wants her to have a good life and to not look at this in the future and be like, oh my god, my parents were so messy on the internet. Like, they were literally getting death threats because they were like arguing on the internet. So he's basically just like, I want all of this to stop. Now, for saying that he wants all of this to stop while also keeping up the video where he calls her aggressive is a little bit strange to me. Like, realistically, if you're like, oh my god, like, I'm gonna be the grown up in the situation, like, I want all the hate to stop, and like, I don't want to keep on doing this, you'd think that he'd be mature enough to be like, I'll take my video down because I want this to end. But he's still keeping the video up, which is like, you know, he said he's just thinking about Celine and all of this, and that he just wants the hate to stop. Those are all the updates on the Ace family and the Landon Shyla situation, which kind of links but also doesn't link at the same time. But I thought I'd put it into one video because it just makes sense. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything you want to comment down below, and subscribe to post videos every time something happens. So hit that bell, you'll be notified when that's happening. Social media links and the links in description. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.